Kate Middleton's love story, William's promise that stunned the world. We all know the fairy tale. The prince, the commoner, the future queen. But the promise that changed everything was never meant for the world. It wasn't spoken on a balcony. And once you hear it, this love story looks very different. Voiceover script. Kate Middleton's love story did not begin with a crown in mind. It began quietly, patiently, without guarantees. And that is what makes Prince William's promise to her so powerful. For years, Kate was known as the woman who waited. The girlfriend who endured. The one who stood beside a prince while the world questioned whether she would ever truly belong. But those labels never captured the reality of what was happening behind closed doors. Because while the public speculated, William was making a promise that would define the rest of their lives. To understand why that promise stunned those who learned of it, you have to understand who Kate was before she became royal. She was not born into privilege or expectation. She was raised in a close-knit family that valued normality, stability, and emotional openness. Kate grew up watching parents who worked together, supported each other, and protected their private world fiercely. That foundation shaped her. When she arrived at the University of St. Andrews, she was not looking for destiny. She was looking for education, independence, and a sense of self. William, on the other hand, arrived carrying a future he did not choose. They met as equals, not as prince and princess, but as students sharing space, routines, and growing pains. Kate did something few people had ever done with William. She treated him normally. She did not flinch at his title. She did not compete for attention. She did not try to reshape herself to fit royal expectations. And that quiet confidence drew William in. Their early relationship was built on friendship first. Long conversations, shared meals, comfortable silences. William, who had spent his life surrounded by protocol, found relief in Kate's grounded presence. But as their bond deepened, so did the reality of what loving William meant. The attention intensified. Cameras followed Kate relentlessly. Headlines questioned her motives, her background, her patience. She was scrutinized in ways few young women could withstand. William saw this and felt conflicted. He loved her, but he also feared what his life could do to hers. This fear was not abstract. It was personal. William had watched the consequences of public pressure before. He had lived through loss that shaped his understanding of love forever. And this is where the promise begins to take shape. Unlike traditional royal courtships, William did not rush Kate toward marriage. He hesitated. He pulled back. He questioned himself, not because his feelings were weak, but because they were strong. He knew that once Kate stepped fully into his world, there would be no turning back. Their temporary separation shocked the public. Many assumed uncertainty or incompatibility. But those close to the couple describe this period differently. They say it was during this time that William confronted a truth he could no longer ignore. Life without Kate did not feel like freedom. It felt incomplete. While apart, William lived with the reality of his future without her. And that future felt empty. The laughter was gone. The grounding force was missing. The person who made him feel human was no longer there. When William chose Kate again, it was not impulsive. It was deliberate. This is when the promise was first formed. He promised her time. He promised her honesty. And most importantly, he promised her that he would never force her into a life she did not fully understand or choose for herself. This was not a promise made lightly. It was a promise rooted in respect. As their relationship resumed, William began doing something unprecedented. He actively prepared Kate for royal life behind the scenes. He shared details most partners were shielded from. He spoke openly about the pressures, the sacrifices, and the emotional toll. He wanted her to see the reality clearly. Kate listened. She learned. And she stayed. That choice changed everything. When William finally proposed, the world saw tradition. The ring. The announcement. The symbolism. But behind that moment was a promise already lived. William had promised Kate that she would never walk alone in this role. That he would protect their private world as fiercely as possible. That he would value her voice, not silence it. And after marriage, that promise was tested almost immediately. Royal life offered no grace period. Expectations were instant. Every appearance was judged. Every absence was questioned. Kate faced criticism that was often unfair and deeply personal. William did not distance himself. He closed ranks. Those who worked with the couple noticed a shift. William became more assertive in protecting Kate. He adjusted schedules. He insisted on boundaries. He chose family time over appearances when possible. This was not rebellion. It was fulfillment of a promise. When Kate became a mother, William's devotion deepened. Parenthood unlocked something in him that had long been shaped by loss. He became intensely aware of emotional presence. He did not want his children to grow up feeling distant from their parents. He did not want history repeating itself. Kate shared this vision. Together, they created a family dynamic that prioritized stability over spectacle. School runs mattered. Bedtime routines mattered. Ordinary moments mattered. Royal tradition did not always approve. But William stood firm. This is where the promise truly stunned those around them. William made it clear that his role as a husband and father would not be secondary to the crown. That his marriage was not an accessory to duty, but its foundation. Those who heard him speak privately say his words carried unusual clarity. He did not frame Kate as a support act. He framed her as his equal. As time passed and responsibilities increased, the weight of William's future became heavier. The expectations placed on him grew more intense. Family tensions within the royal household added strain. Kate remained steady. She did not seek attention through conflict. She did not speak out unnecessarily. She absorbed pressure quietly and supported William consistently. William noticed everything. Insiders describe his trust in Kate as absolute. She is the person he turns to when doubts surface. When decisions feel overwhelming. When the burden of legacy feels isolating. And in one deeply personal moment, during a period of reflection and strain, William expressed something that would later be described as unforgettable. He spoke about commitment beyond circumstance. Beyond title. Beyond even this life. He told Kate that his bond with her was not defined by time or position. That whatever roles they played, whatever worlds they occupied, he would choose her. This was not a rehearsed declaration. It was not meant to be repeated. But the meaning was unmistakable. For William, love is not guaranteed. It is something to be protected. Something to be chosen deliberately. Kate understood this in a way few could. Her patience had never been passive. It had been intentional. She had observed the institution she was entering. She had weighed the cost. And she had stayed because the partnership mattered. That is why William's promise stunned those who learned of it. Because it revealed a future king who values emotional truth over image. Their relationship is not perfect. No marriage under such pressure could be. But it is resilient. It has survived distance, doubt, criticism, and change. It has adapted without losing its core. As William moves closer to the throne, the promise continues to guide him. He knows the crown will demand more. He also knows that without Kate, the role would be unbearable. So he chooses her daily. In quiet ways. In protected moments. In decisions that prioritize family over applause. Kate Middleton's love story is not about becoming a princess. It is about being chosen fully, honestly, and consistently. And Prince William's promise was never meant to stun the world. It was meant to reassure one woman that in a life defined by duty, she would always come first. That promise is not written into history books. But it lives in every step they take together. And it is the reason their story continues to endure.